It is the Brisbane Lions Fancast in the bye week. And before we go any further, all right, Patrick, go on. Have your moment. Say what you need to say. You were right, I was wrong. You're big and I'm little. You're smart and I'm dumb and all that sort of stuff.
Now, what I will say first off is we have a fantastic community here where we talked about tackles last week and where we would be on the home and away season. Now, some bloody legend, go find who it is, Dirkashidi?
Sure.
Dirkashidi? They put the table together. And I got a question for you. Where were we on that table?
Turns out we finished 17th.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show.
It is Brisbane Lions Fancast. It's thanks to EB Buy a Hiker, Hop on Brewery Tours, and of course, Crisp Marketing. We will get to some pretty pressing issues and questions in a little bit of time. There's no game to review, of course, but there is a back half of the season to preview, including two very tough games against two teams that pulled our pants down earlier in the year in various ways. Oh, you can always check us out, brisbanelionsfancast.com.au, across all your favourite podcast providers, on YouTube as well. And if you like what we do, please shout us a coffee. We've got a tip jar on our website available there. It's just a PayPal link. You can buy a shirt as well. That'll get there in time for the back half of the season if you want to rep some of our merch. But let's get into it. As I said, no game this week, which is a blessing. The VFL also had a bit of a bye. It does mean that there probably will be one change to come in this game against Sydney. Froggy Lester looks like he'll be available to come into the team, and a lot of the discourse has been around your mate Dizzy Gardner and where he may or may not fit into this team. So maybe he's the one to go out, maybe he's not. We'll have a chat about that later too. But first things first, how did you spend your bye week, Pat? I know you're a fan of the World Game, so you must be enjoying the World Cup.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. It's fun just, and also the games aren't at like absurd times like they have been in previous times. So the bye week has been, lots of that. I've been trying to catch at least parts of every game. So that's a lot. It doesn't happen very often. So, it's
Sure.
what it is. How about yourself?
I have not been watching the World Cup. It's not my flavour. And I'm not suddenly going to pretend that I suddenly care about soccer and the Socceroos, because I feel like that would just be a disservice to genuine football fans. So I'm not just going to jump on the bandwagon for the sake of it. When I rocked up to my game of footy last week, it was the Sunday afternoon, and I whipped out the phone. I was watching the last half of the Brisbane-Richmond game, and a couple of the boys, they were like, "Oh, are they still up 2-0? And I was like, I'm watching Brisbane-Richmond, sorry, guys. And at that stage, I assumed Turkey was up 2-0. And I was like, all right, whatever. And kept watching while, we were getting ready and stuff. And then later I found out, like, oh, no, Socceroos were up 2-0. I was like, yeah, righto, sure. Didn't watch the US game.
Yeah.
But, God, there's been a lot of back and forth between nations over the last week or so.
I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. You missed. I would say I would put that Turkey game in the top 3 Australia Socceroos games in history, up there with
sure,
the Uruguay second leg in 2005 and the first game of the World Cup, Japan one in 2006. So that's my top 3. If anyone was asking, which they definitely were not. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's disingenuous. What did we say a couple of years ago when the Olympics were on? I got really into archery.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, I didn't think that was disingenuous. That was, loved it. Anyway, the bye, despite us not playing, has been quite good to us.
Well,
some might say.
Depends how you look at it. I'm sure there are a lot of people listening right now that were hoping that we come out of the bye weekend and we would get the welcome news that one, if not two, of our better players had re-signed with the club, but it is looking more and more likely that both of those fellas will be departing at the end of the year, which is a bit of a shame. And
which ones? Neil and Bailey?
Yeah, mate, those two.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if because there's been stuff about Morris as well, and it's just I wasn't talking about it in a player's perspective. I was talking about the games. We sit here after the bye, still only a game and a half from third.
Yeah, true. Not bad. Not bad.
Which is pretty good, with the opportunity to jump quite a lot. So, in a results based industry, it's been a good week. You know, it isn't a good week, or is a strange one, and I messaged you this earlier on. We are in the middle of playing 4 consecutive games against teams coming back from the bye.
Yeah.
I know that Sydney are having the bye and we are too, but that seems very strange.
It does, doesn't it?
That it would be fixtured that way, that you would be playing you know how some years teams are really awful coming back from the bye and some years teams are really good? You wouldn't want it to be like the opposite one.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
So that was just a weird little bit of fixturing that I found. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, when we look at Bailey and Neil, is it really a surprise that the Neil Collingwood money is just absurd?
Yeah, and now the latest is that the Saints are going to throw cash at him as well. I don't know. There's a big part of me that's just like, it
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But when I think about him playing for Adelaide, I'm like, I don't like that. When I think about him playing for Collingwood, I don't like that. But that makes, weirdly enough, it makes a bit more, it all makes sense. Going to Perth obviously makes sense for the obvious reasons. Going to Adelaide makes sense. It's close enough to Perth and his family are there. The thing that makes sense going to Collingwood is, cash, which he could get at St Kilda, but, he's done everything he wanted to in his career. Like, he's, 2-time premiership captain, 2-time Brownlow medalist. Now he gets the opportunity to play Anzac Day, King's Birthday, all the big fixtures, play in front of 100,000 people more often than not. So that's, something that I'm sure he wants for his career. And then the cash obviously is pretty sweet too. What I don't know that will sit too well with him is there's all this narrative going on about we need to do everything we can while we've got Nick Dacos on this list. So, to get someone like Lachie Neale in to make sure that Nick Dacos can get a premiership and Nick Dacos can play finals and all that sort of stuff. I think part of the big reason why he left Freo was he wanted to be the big dog and he was getting overshadowed in that midfield. So, willingly going back into that sort of, system.
Environment.
Yeah. But who knows? Whatever. We got the best Lachie Neale, and I'm sure that the parting of ways will be pretty amicable, and it just makes sense for him to have a bit of a fresh start and for us to say, all right, well, thanks, mate. Thanks for all the success and for coming when you did and taking us to the top of the mountain. All the best. See you on the G.
It has a sort of certain, from our point of view, like Dane Beams-ishness to it, where it almost seems like a bit of an inside job where you take all their salary cap money and screw them up for a few years. And I'm loving that. Not that that's what happened with Dane Beams. That was a happy accident. But I don't think they're going to get the best out of him, and I don't think that environment particularly suits him.
He will definitely help them, but I don't know that that he's going to move the needle that much that they're suddenly going to be top 4, top 6.
He could be a bit top Tom Mitchell-ish.
Yeah,
but
their forward line's still a massive issue anyway.
They just don't have good players. And I know I said that about lots of teams that are doing a lot better than they have been doing, but you look at their team, you're like, who the hell are most of these guys? But who cares? It's Collingwood. But I can say if another club offered me hundreds of thousands of listeners and heaps of money to go and do a podcast for their club, I'd probably take it. Sorry.
Fair shout.
Yeah.
Fair shout.
If it was if we're beaming this to 4 million people, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'd take the money. And it's like Gorringe, He's a bloody turncoat. Funny guy, as he is.
Mm.
But, yeah. He gives the people what they want, and I certainly don't.
Yeah, well, occasionally. Occasionally,
yeah, but that's me at my most spiteful and salubrious. But yes, so not great in that sort of a sense, but at the same time, like, this is the third consecutive year of like, well, I don't think our injuries can be as bad as they were last year, and here we are. So maybe I need to stop talking. But also, in saying that, having said that, every year we have ended up winning a premiership, which is what I think we are primed to have another tilt at.
Well, yeah, you did mention that off air. And just quickly, and we'll just get this out of the way. Like, obviously, Zach Bailey's gone, right? He's gone to Adelaide. Like, that seems foregone conclusion.
Oh, for sure.
Point, yeah.
Like, and I just don't think that he'll be, whatever.
Yeah, that's upsetting too, just because of the way everything unfolded with Cal Archie last year. I just feel like it's going to be more annoying than it should be when it all comes to pass.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We press on. We got a game on Thursday. That's going to come around real quick because by the time people are listening to this, I mean, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday if you've too busy getting on with your real life to listen to this. And the game will be here before we know it. And we're coming up against the Swans who, let's be honest, they limped over the line against Port and St Kilda. So they were probably looking for the bye just as much as us. Well, in a different sort of way. They got a few injuries of their own. Errol Goulden may be back for this game. Justin McInerney will still be out. I'm not sure where some of their other players are really sitting with their injuries. I'm not sure if Papley's back in or not.
McCartan?
Yeah, McCartan with that concussion, it's just one of those ongoing ones. Yeah, Tom Papley looks like he'll still be out. Rampy might be back in. Melican might be back in. Yeah.
So it's a different fixture to round one.
It is. We've got a couple back, but we've lost others. Same for them. I think Justin McInerney is actually a pretty big loss for the Swans. He's been having a sneaky, really good year.
Yeah, him and Rowbottom really set their team up to be able to play the way that they can. Admittedly, I did say last week I haven't watched a lot of Sydney because I kind of they irritate me a bit. So I know that they're the proponents of the handball-y forward thing and they've got Kerno running around and stuff, but they have kind of gotten over the line in a few tight games lately and they haven't looked super great, I don't believe. At the same time, like, you got GWS kicking 1 million goals in a quarter against us and then getting like made to look stupid against Carlton. I can't make sense of any of what is going on at the moment.
We copped GWS on an absolute heater of a fortnight. They put 166 points on us and then dusted up Melbourne the week after. And then following that, they get done in by the Saints and Carlton. And this is with Sam Taylor, Hogan, Whitfield. Brent Daniels is back, like, fully firing that. Like, so their team's better now, but they're producing worse on-field results. And they absolutely smoked us.
Every team plays well against us. And, that's that hunted, you're the premiership.
Yeah, big time.
Guys or whatever. But, like, I think this is more the reason as to why we haven't, like, belted a team by 140 points or whatever. Because, if you're Richmond, you're like, well, we're playing Sydney and then we're playing the Lions. Like, they're probably like, oh, I don't know. Psychologically, I can't make any sense of it. But it's been annoying me, obviously. Tipping also has been annoying me.
Yeah, big time.
But not having a good time. So hopefully, we all of us, me and you as podcast people, the team, the tipping, other teams being like annoying, can all just line up the way that it should, the way that we deserve it to, some might say.
Yeah, true. All right, well,
seem really riveted by my, Basil.
Thanks, Basil.
Speech.
All right, well, the back half of the season also holds games. Sydney, Geelong are our first two back, and I'm sure they've spent the last fortnight talking about these two games in a big, big way. And it remains to be seen how that is going to affect them mentally on Thursday night, whether they come out firing. The Cats are playing really good footy too. Then we've got Essendon, West Coast, Port, Carlton. on paper, very winnable games. Carlton could be on like a 9-game winning streak at that point, though. 10 even.
They won't be.
Hawthorn, Suns, and Collingwood to finish off the season.
In my opinion, that's like the perfect fixture list to head into a finals run. You've got a couple of hard games, you've got some winnable fixtures, and you've got 3 to tune you up.
Yeah.
Before you get into finals. I can see us losing 1 game and winning the rest.
Sure.
I can also see us losing 2 games. You know, ballsing up against like Collingwood in the last round to finish 5th or something. But I think that there's a lot of potential here because we've got kind of, if you can grind out 1 win in the next 2, and then you can kind of get the ball rolling, and we need to make sure we're ticking off. Like cliched as it is, you got to take it one week at a time.
Oh God.
But there is a good opportunity to roll something new out for the team, with a little bit, I'd say, less pressure after these 2 games, because Fagan's the absolute master at keeping perspective within the club and not kind of, what did you say? Crossing the pen off or something, or writing us off, or
I'm not
putting a line through it.
Yeah,
putting a line through it. He's the king of not doing that. So I think we have to win one of these next 2 games, and if we don't, we probably don't make it to prelim final week.
If for some reason you were offered the magic choice, do you want to beat Geelong or Sydney? For me, it's Geelong. I'd love to beat Geelong down in Geelong.
Yeah, Geelong.
Yeah, they're playing the better footy at the moment too.
Yeah, they are, but they're not getting the results that Sydney are. Just, And maybe that is a weird thing. Maybe Sydney's form, they've still been picking up results, and this is their dip, and then they'll springboard as well. Like, the thing is, I think there's a lot of teams, Fremantle and Sydney, just their top 2.
Yeah.
The others are all dropping games. And there's plenty of worlds where, I think, what was it? Geelong have lost like 5 games by less than 10 points or something like that. I don't know. We can look back to 2018 and say, well, we would have made the 8 if we hadn't lost all of our games that we'd dropped by less than 10 points. But, they could be sitting where Fremantle and
easily.
And fucking Sydney are. Similar with Hawthorn. Like, Hawthorn have probably underperformed. Adelaide was shit at the start of the year. Melbourne are there. But I think we're in a good sneaky position where we've got a pretty softish draw after this. Where are you sitting on it?
Yeah. I think that big chunk of game. We just need to make sure that we do bank those wins, and that we play a brand of footy that we know will stand up as well. Like, sure, obviously banking the wins and getting us into a position where we can hopefully finish in that top 4, top 6. Top 4 seems a stretch, with our form at the moment. Top 6. But I think just the nature of the way we play, like, I'd love to see some improvement there as well. And the quicker we can get back some of these blokes, like the quicker we can get back Oscar Allen, the quicker we can get back Zorks. Like I said, Leicester should be back in this team for this Sydney game. McCarthy will be thereabouts. Is he part of our best 23 anymore? Kitty Coleman again as well. He'll be there. It's just like him, McCluggage, Zorko. They're all sort of due back that week after the Cats, and they're all due to come back in that block of games that, like I said, on paper look very winnable because they're against, bottom 6 teams. Which will time out well to get those guys back in, get them match fitness, get them some form. And by the time that hopefully we do come up against Hawthorn, Suns and Collingwood in the back 3 weeks, that they are sort of primed, ready to go, and Oscar Allen will be back in that team as well. And hopefully, knocking on wood here, that our list is looking as close to our
better.
best 23 by the time finals roll around.
I think that those 4 games give us a little bit of flexibility to stagger some of them coming back. So it's not just like, here we go, 6 ends. Like, have fun. Because that, to me, is like, that's potentially problematic.
Oh, definitely.
Whereas if you do 3 one week and 3 the next week, or 2-2-2, we know Zorko doesn't really need much lead in.
Yeah.
He can just come straight back in. I think we're kind of looking at it 2 different ways, I suppose, because you're looking at it in terms of a performance. You're wanting to bank the wins and see a better brand. Whereas I think that will just happen magically because it's a fanciful way of thinking.
Well, I think that's just the attitude that a lot of people have, and including perhaps the club and the players. That I think it'll just happen because, yes, we know that our best footy can be the best, and we've done it on the big stage when it matters 2 years in a row. So we know we can do it, but I feel like this attitude of, I know we can do it, and hoping that it'll just appear is probably not ideal.
I would say I don't know that we will see it until the last 3 games, if it is to be seen, if that makes sense. Because, we've still won games and won games well this year. You can look at the Gold Coast game and go, well, that's possibly our best football. Us destroying Collingwood, possibly our best football. Who else did we haven't beaten many teams.
Well, we did a number on Adelaide, but that was a very different Adelaide to the one of the last fortnight.
Sort of, but it was still the same players, roughly. It just was different.
Yeah, it's just the way they're playing their footy right now. And you know what? That's what I'm hoping for us, is that we're sitting here in 6 weeks going, the footy we're playing now is not like the footy we saw going into the bye. Because I just don't think, there's been 4 or 5 wins this year where it has just relied on 5, 10, 15 minutes of blistering footy, and we've just sort of, arm wrestled the rest of it. If we just do that for the back half of the year, I'm not going to be fully confident, leading into week 1 in the finals, that 15 minutes of good footy is going to get the job done against a Geelong, a Freo, a Sydney.
Yeah, but if that's the case, and that has kind of been the case in different times, last year we did a little bit kind of limp into finals, I think. Can you bring it up?
We had that big win against Freo over in Perth, and then we had that.
Oh, that's right.
We had that game against Hawthorn at the Gabba, and that was for a top 4 spot. And it was
I entirely take that back. Our form was really good going.
Well, that's the fortnight looking
our
into
form
it.
Was
it was the fortnight going into it. But I think the week before that Freo game, I think we lost to the Giants again. Maybe that was the second Giants game from memory. And going into that Freo game, I thought to myself, and there was a Sydney game in there as well, which we dropped. And I thought, okay, we're going to need to really lift here against Freo, who at that stage weren't the powerhouse I say now as they are right now, but they certainly weren't a bad team by any stretch of the imagination.
Fremantle should have done a lot better with what they had last year, and this year is kind of indicative of that. The year before was the one where we played Essendon in the most amicable of Dyson Heppel send-offs. It was just right. You win by 20 points, and it was sort of like, oh, this is a bit yuck. And, we're sitting there going, I think we're playing Carlton in an elimination final where they had 7 players coming back, and we were like, everyone kind of thought we'd lose, but also win by 1 million.
It was one of those games. And to your point that you were saying before of staggering the ins, they had 6 changes, and Sam Doherty's coming back from a miracle ACL, and it was either going to go one of 2 ways. It's there's too many changes and we're just going to blitz them, which is what happened in the first half, or it's going to be a real galvanizer for them having I think he was captain at that point, maybe, come back into the team, and they were just going to produce some sort of miracle themselves.
As it was, they gave up 60 points to nil. I think, though, that game didn't abate a lot of the issues we had at the time, which was that we were kind of tuning out of games in the last quarter, and they were getting a lot closer than they needed to be. And I think the point that I'm really long-windedly and stupidly trying to make is that switched in a week. Functionally, I know the GWS game was kind of an anomaly, but kind of we turned it on in the space of a week. And we kind of did that because we were awful against Geelong in the first final last year.
Yes, we were.
And then we were right for the taking, and no one was particularly confident going in against Gold Coast.
I was, yeah. I was.
Dude, you were shitting yourself.
Well,
if we had tipped finals, you would have tipped the Gold Coast.
No, I'd sort of said there was a big case to be made that they played their grand final the week before against Freo, and the travel and the emotional upheaval of winning their first final and David's Hall and all that sort of stuff was going to take it out of them. I was certainly less confident coming up against Collingwood, that's for sure.
I was more confident probably. I thought Collingwood, retrospectively, that was the only one that I think we were probably favourites going into, because I thought Collingwood were on the decline, and they were. I have to rewatch some episodes from last year just to, annoy you further.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Yeah, it's good to hold me accountable. Right. Well, there we go. That's a sort of a brief and vague overview of the back half of the season. But I think all in all, I am very much looking forward to seeing what we can produce on Thursday night against a top 2 team. What sort of mental attitude we're going to bring, what sort of defensive pressure, and I guess that team defense, which has been our huge downfall this year, where that stands up, especially against a team that is one of the better forward handballing teams, as we've discussed on the show. That will be good. As I said, Froggy probably comes back into this team. Dizzy is the guy.
Question mark.
Yeah. Or Ty Gallup goes back up forward, and then we take out a Jimmy Tunstall.
Yeah.
That's probably the other way I see it. Because I didn't... Yeah. That week that Ty played up forward against the Suns, I thought he was pretty good. But then again, I thought he was also pretty good down back against Richmond. And obviously, Sydney's got a pretty tall back line as well. Amadi McLean's playing in there. Logan McDonald, who's playing a little bit further up the ground. And, of course, Charlie Curnow. So they got a tall forward line. And then Brodie Grundy, who can float down there too. So there's a bit going on with Sydney.
It's the sort of thing we don't want to do what we did in round 1, which is play one key defender and Zach Ostelsky and no one else.
Yeah.
Because I remember that team, and we were like, well, Joyce has to... No, actually, Harris didn't... Did Harris play?
No, because he got suspended against the Dogs.
That's right, yeah. So it was just Zach Ostelsky and Leicester.
Yeah. And Leicester played out of his skin.
Yeah, he was great. Like, Curnow, I don't think kicked a goal or kicked like half a goal or something. Yeah. Like, he probably should have, but he didn't, which is, yeah, well, let's not do that. Let's have more, that's why you definitely keep Gallup in just in case, I'm
not saying drop him. I'm the other.
No, not at all. That was a poor choice of words. I sort of more just meant like, even if you're unsure, you put him forward and then you can swing him back if you need to. But I think probably Leicester for Gardner in a like for like. Tunstall's defensive running has been, I think, really underrated in the past couple of games. He was pretty unsighted against Richmond, but that game a bit fever dreamy. There's, dig that one up again. I think that's probably the only change. But you do raise a good point about the idea of having poor little Tunstall coming out.
Well, I just think maybe it's not a bad idea to have the option of Gallup as the ability to swing back and forward depending on how the game's unfolding. But then we're going in pretty tall as well. Not that Froggy's super tall, not that Dizzy's super tall, but with 2 rucks, Morris, and then those
Hipwood.
Hipwood in there as well, and then there's 4 key backs, and I'm including Gallup in there as well. So it's a pretty tall lineup as well.
Yeah, it is, but not the worst thing in the world, I don't think. I mean, the tolls aside, it's their run and carry and nonsense that they tend to do with guys like Warner and Heaney and things. So the midfield are going to have to be switched on with how they play. But I think like Dunkley's been in slightly better form. Neil's been pretty good. Ashcroft's been up and down. Yeah, Barry obviously a good one to be back and playing good football. And then between Answorth and the Brain, like we have a bit more coverage down back for kind of the smalls because they've got that guy they got from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, Roses.
Yeah, he's been not too bad. Allegedly, given I don't watch Sydney, so
no, he kicked a bag of 7 about a month ago.
He's been Ben Ronked
it. Yeah. Now there's a blast from the past, Ben Ronk. He's been good. He's been a welcome addition. They've and Jai Sarong to that team as well. He's been good on the wing. So yeah, I mean they're obviously a strong team. They're obviously a very strong team.
Yep. And
as I said, Goulden very well could be back in the mix as well. Whether he's not the type to come back through the VFL, I would have thought.
Probably not, but I don't know how he goes coming straight back in. But he has had a lot of injuries. Is he come back from hamstring?
No, it was hamstring? It was actually that shoulder that he did against us.
That's right. Yeah. The Link McCarthy mauling. Well, I dare say Sydney people were like, oh, well, if they're probably loving where they're at now, all things considered, given that Goulden's now back in the team. So,
very vast difference last year when Goulden and Papley were out of that team and they just couldn't win games. And then as soon as they came back into the team, they made a real push for finals. Whereas this year, those two have been missing for big periods and they've still been managing to win games. As I said, though, they just sort of got over the line those last two, but, a week off for them, they'll be refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, which is up there with one of the worst things I can say about games coming up. But
are you looking forward to Michael Voss in the commentary box on Fox Footy?
Do you remember when Michael Voss was the weatherman?
I don't recall.
Like a really, there's been a couple of moments where I wonder if I've not time traveled, gone into a different parallel universe.
Sure.
Because I swear I've time traveled into one where Starcevich now spells his name with an H at the end, and it previously wasn't.
Right.
Because I have things that I'd written years ago that omit the H. So one night I must have fallen asleep and woken up. Did Michael Voss ever do weather? Is the question. I'm pretty sure he did weather on Channel 10, and it wasn't very good.
I don't know. I don't believe so. That seems ridiculous.
It does seem ridiculous, but it was probably like Channel 10 Queensland. Is that even a thing?
Yeah. They all have their own local news. Well, they used to anyway. I haven't watched free-to-air TV in a minute.
If he hasn't, I will assume once again that I have time traveled.
Sure.
Because I'm imagining this was, I don't know, 2008.
Yeah, it makes sense. I know he did, in between retiring and before he got the job with us, he did do Channel 10 footy. Like he was part of the media there.
With a bit of a side of weather. Surely he wouldn't have done the weather. Surely it would have been the
mate, you're telling the story.
What am I? Oh, God. Someone help.
Yeah. Now let's press on.
To answer your question, not overly looking forward to it, but also maybe the curse can be put back in its genie bottle.
Maybe he'll do the weather for you. Long pause. Okay, let's get to... Thank you. Let's get to tipping. Thanks to EB by Hiker. And right now at ebbyhiker.com.au, they've got the game day packages for the World Cup games, the Socceroos games. So this Friday, I believe, they're playing Paraguay. If you want to get the drinks package
midday
and everything, there you go. If you can manage to wrangle some time off work on Friday midday, head to EB by Hiker, get your tickets at ebbyhiker.com.au. I think it's only $65 for the package, this one. 2 hours of drinks and a meal from the kitchen as well. And cheer on the Socceroos and hopefully get them through the group stage.
I can give you the easiest tip to get some time off work on a Friday. Just don't go.
Yep.
Just don't go.
Sure.
Anyway, on to the tipping.
This round just gone, our winner was Darren F. with the team name Brisbane Lions. Got 7 from 7 and missing the margin by just 1. So get in touch, Darren, via socials or email blfancast@gmail.com. You've won yourself 300 waypoints thanks to EB by Hiker. And don't forget, whoever wins...
my missus would have been filthy with that. She picked the margin and was 1 tip off. So
don't forget, whoever wins the overall competition wins grand final watch party at EB by Hiker worth $790. I got 6, missed out on the Giants, as Carlton is on a winning streak at the moment. Got everything else right.
Yeah, I didn't have a good Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, that's right. You tipped the Cats.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Tipped the Cats, tipped the Hawks. Tipped the Gold Coast.
Wow.
And yeah, I was annoyed. I reckon that games that I've been tipping someone that's been leading, and I know the Gold Coast weren't that, I feel like that's happened quite a lot, and it's probably statistically only about 51% of the time, but it feels a lot more that I've lost out on a lot of these close games. So yes, tipping is pain at the moment.
Well, let's get into the next round, round 16, which does kick off with our game Thursday night. We are, according to Sportsbet, for those that are that way inclined, we are the favourites just at this one. We're paying $1.85, Sydney $2. That being said,
you do realise you can turn the gambling stuff off?
Yeah, I know I can.
The setting. Oh, okay.
But that requires clicking some things. I'm tipping Sydney.
I'm not a proponent of the advertising of the odds. Personally, I find it goes against my religion.
Gamble responsibly, or don't gamble at all.
Probably. Gamble not at all.
Yeah, that's the one. I've tipped.
Spend your money on cool stuff like killer pythons and hot chips,
or go to our website brisbanelionsfancast.com. Do put in our tip jar.
Yeah, all that.
You're tipping us
Brisbane
by how
20.
Much? By 20?
20.
I like that. Hawthorn GWS at the G Friday night.
Hawthorn with Gold Coast to kick 16 goals in a quarter.
Sure. Carlton. Marvel at...
Josh Fraser train continues.
Yeah. Collingwood, Richmond, Collingwood. Showdown day. Crows and Port. That'll be... tipping the Crows, but I think that'll be a cracking game Saturday night.
Do you two, like Jack Rewalt, think that Carr's the third best coach in the competition or something?
No.
Okay, that's good. Sometimes I just have to check.
I think Port are doing pretty amicably for considering where they're at. They've won some games they probably should. I mean, they dusted Geelong, and they've lost a huge amount of games by, they've run with some good teams.
Very well.
That being said, Adelaide by, 50. Oh, North and Essendon. Yuck.
What time's that one on? Sunday, 3:15. No one is going to watch that at all.
Wouldn't have thought so. And then Fremantle and the Suns at Optus to finish things off 5:10 on the Sunday night. Going the Dockers there until they prove me otherwise.
I'm tipping Fremantle. I reckon the Suns will win.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just think they will.
I mean,
like I thought Melbourne would win to spite me against Adelaide this week, which they weren't too far off.
I mean, Freo's got to drop one at some point.
Or will they just win forever?
Do an Essendon 2000 job.
Yeah, but even they got done by the super flood in round 22 or whatever.
Yeah, the Terry Wallace masterclass.
That's the greatest non-Brisbane thing.
Fair enough.
Because,
All right, well, there's the tips of this week, thanks to EB by Hiker. I do have a new game for you this week, and it should be just as infuriating for you and for everyone listening. It won't be as bad as the other game that's never coming back, people. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Oh, lordy lord, here we go.
All right, this game, thanks to Crisp Marketing, this one. And, all right, so...
Does that mean if it's bad, we have to send all of our, anger to poor Abby at Crisp Marketing?
No. This will be good. So, here are the rules. I need you to name as many of the starting lineup of a particular game as you can. You get 3 strikes and you're out, and you get 1 wild card where you can go, okay, I need a hand here, and I'll give you a player. So,
okay,
the starting lineup is for 2013 round 13, the Miracle on Grass. Geelong
so it's
at the Gabba.
It's like, will I be named Rondo Del Rey if I win?
I don't get that reference, but sure, if that's what you'd like.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Okay, us versus Geelong.
Us versus Geelong.
Ash McGrath.
Yes. Ding.
Simon Black.
Yes.
Daniel Rich.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yep. Just naming everyone in the last play. Yep.
Zorko.
Yep.
Jonathan Brown.
Jonathan Brown was in this team, yes.
I'm in trouble now. Patfull.
Patfull, yes. You've named 5 of our starting back 6.
Geez, who would have thought? My brother will be proud of me with that effort, one might say. 2013, hey? Who the hell was in our team there?
There are some names in here.
Tom Rockcliffe.
Tom Rockcliffe, yes. Listed on the forward flank. You've listed 4 of our starting forwards.
There are some names, you say?
Yeah, there are some names.
Luke Power?
Luke Power, no. No, he was at GWS at this point, if not retired.
So that was a strike.
Yeah, that's 1 strike.
How does a wild card work in this situation?
So you say, I want to cash in my wild card, and then you give me, a line that you want it from. I think that's the way. Yeah.
Jack Redden?
Jack Redden in the team, starting in the guts.
Who the hell else was playing for us at this point in time?
So you're missing our 2 wings. You're missing another key defender. Brent Maloney, bang. That's one of the wings.
So who else am I missing from the lines?
So you're missing the ruckman and another one in the guts, another starting midfielder. You're missing the other wing. You haven't named anyone that was starting on the bench. A key defender and 2 key/hybrid forwards.
Yeesh. And you said big names, right?
No, not big names, just funny names.
Polkinghorne?
Polkinghorne is not in this team. That's strike 2.
Thought Pandemonium at the Gabba would have got us. Give us a wild card for the ruck.
Leuenberger.
Fuck. 100% was going to say Leuenberger. I'm not sure. I've got 1 strike left, and this is not going to go very well. So, Go Brett Staker.
Yes, he's in the forward pocket, so you're missing one other key forward, a key back, another starting midfielder, and the bench. Someone on the bench is still on the list right now.
Oh, Froggy.
Yes, Froggy's on the bench. Oh, and
Are
the
there
other
any
wing.
other players that are still?
Oh, the other, no.
Okay, good. I was like,
just Froggy and Zork.
Gardner? No. Who has retired recently that was there for a long time?
No one. No, don't think about that.
Because that was the year that we won the Ansett Cup.
Yeah, the NAB Cup.
Probably
yeah,
wasn't
the
called
very
the
last
Ansett
one,
Cup. I don't know.
Yeah, you've done pretty well. So our starting midfield, Redden, you got.
Hold on, just let me strike out. Let me strike out with a dumb one. Now I've got to actually sort of back this up. Jason Rowe.
Yeah, no. No, he was well gone at this stage.
Okay.
So you missed out on Justin Clark as the other key defender. Our starting midfield was Redden, who you got Leuenberger, Simon Black, and Pierce Hanley started in the middle, at least on paper. Mitch Golby was the other wing. Jordan Lyle was named at centre-half forward. Froggy was on the bench with Sam Mays, Sam Doherty, and Ryan Hardwood as the sub.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there were some players that were there, but yeah. Well, that was a better game than the other time.
It was. We'll do that again as well later on down the line. But I thought that might be a bit of fun and a nice trip down memory lane for everyone involved.
Can we get some feedback if people would like it done quid pro quo with me doing it to JB?
I'd love to be on the other end of these games for sure.
Well, why don't you never tell me that?
Mate, you never tell me.
You got to speak up.
All right. Well, here I am, mate. Do a game for me.
I offered, and then you complained about me not offering. Bickering.
You'll have to see it. All right. So, not a whole lot of questions coming through that aren't necessarily about trade chat, which we've already spoken about. A lot of discussion in the questions section of our Discord, and it's largely been about Dizzy Gardner and his place in the team, and Darragh Joyce as well, and where they sort of sit in the list and depth and all that sort of stuff. By and large, I think Dizzy's been pretty reliable and pretty consistent for us.
He
had a mare against Richmond. It must be said, he had an absolute mare.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
He is prone to having mares oftentimes against Richmond.
Yeah. Yes. It shouldn't be against a bloke that's played a handful of games, but here we are. That backline has just had so much change this year. It's just been a revolving door, and it finally looks a little bit balanced with Shadow in the team and Ainsworth back in the system. Once Zorks and Kitty come back in, what does that mean? I don't know, because I do like the balance as it is, but we'll see as that unfolds. The other, Logan Morris is the other sort of trade chat. I think that's just going to bleed into next year. So there's probably not too much point talking about it for the next few months. Obviously, would love to keep him.
I would, yeah. And we've talked about this before of like, who would you take? Would you keep Bailey or Morris? I'm firmly in the camp of keeping Morris, but let's hypothetically say we win a third premiership and then he's like, yeah, look, he's contracted for next year as well, right? Yep. Let's say he plays that last season. Would you, and he's amazing. Would you really be like, oh, well, let's break the bank to keep one player? Like, we're kind of on the, not to say that we're not trying to be sustainably successful, but you can't win 9 premierships in a row.
No.
Like if you win 3 or you win 4, like you play, 5 grand finals or 5 grand 4 grand finals over. Like, he's kind of done all he needs to do. So, yeah, it's a strange one. It's a curiosity because we are going to have to prepare for that.
I'm more
eventually.
comfortable with him being our highest paid player compared to a Zach Bailey.
Yeah, he's much more consistent. But at the same time, like...
And key forwards, like genuine, 60 goal a year key forwards don't come around very often.
Trees.
Yeah.
We would know, you being 5'10" and me being 5'11", that it's hard work being here at the bottom of the pack. Yeah. I don't have a problem with him being our most paid player, but I also think that if you've won a handful of premierships, it's kind of like, well,
yeah,
you're either here for life or you're chasing success, and players are... I feel like it is probably more becoming like the American model of player trades and things like that, which I hate.
Yeah.
Because I love, I like loyalty. I think it's nice.
Well, I mean, the direct comparison is Jonathan Brown, who came into the team, and before you know it, he's won 3 flags and then spent the rest of the year chasing it again and watching his team down the bottom of the ladder and, leading that team, captaining that team. And obviously had his offers along the way. He got offered to captain Collingwood and earn, the equivalent thereof of millions of dollars, whatever. It probably would have been under $1 million a year at that stage, but
$300K and an endless Carlton draft.
Yeah. But he chose to stay because that's just who Jonathan Brown is. So he's sort of the direct comparison, but a very different time as well. As you said, it is definitely leaning into that player movement way of life, and it'd be very rare that someone like Logan Morris would do that. But hopefully we can hang on to him for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, I think with... See that?
I did see that, yes.
Having a scratch. I think that, it'll probably go into next year and it'll be an absolute... I think with players like this, with Zach Bailey and with Morris, it's the sort of thing where surely the club would just say, this is our offer. Let's just... Okay, you're not signing on, so you'll be leaving. Announce it early, I reckon. Are they allowed to announce it?
Yeah. It's just sort of, I don't know, as an industry, we're sort of not conflict really ready for it. Yeah.
Conflict of interesty, but I feel like that would almost be the thing to take the pressure off everybody, and it stops all of the circus around it to go like,
yeah, I think
he's contracted for next year. He's going to kick 80 goals. Who dares wins when it comes to picking him up for however much. But maybe I'm just like full on success.
NRL is... They've been well across that for a long time of, I'm going here at the end of the year, I'm going here at the end of next year. Like, players will do that. I know Lockie Henderson did it when he left Carlton and went to Geelong. He announced it pretty early. And
they froze him out of the team, though, didn't they?
They did drop him, I think. I know Danny Daly was asked about it the other day on SEN, and they said, do you just want to know one way or the other from Zach Bailey? Like, would you rather know than not know? And he said, yeah, I think we're at a point now where it's just like, we'd rather know so we can start planning and get the list manager on board. And, he said, Dan McStay told us 7 weeks out that he was going to leave. And he said, yeah, fine, but for now you're still contracted to us, play the best footy you can and try and help us win a premiership. And he did.
And he did. Yeah. And I think it's not the case where if Zach Bailey had that conversation with the club, they'd be like, well, we're going to drop you. Maybe if you're in a spitefully shit position that Carlton have been in, and with Lockie Henderson, that games are so useless that it doesn't matter.
Well,
Zach Bailey could help us win another premiership. Well,
that's right. If we were, floundering in the bottom 4, then it's a different story of like, okay, well, we need to plan for the future, so we're going to get games into Sam Marshall, or we're going to get games into Dan Annabelle, or whoever that next person is, or Reece Torrent, or whatever, because we know you're not going to be here. We need to get these guys exposed to AFL footy. So, whereas now it's like, okay, sure, you're leaving, but we're still in the window, we're still having a tilt, so fine, leave, but give us your all while you're still here, because, at this point, you're a Lions player.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So, It is going to be sad to see players that we've watched go to other clubs, and it has been, it's Starcevich and, Archie and the likes, but it's the reality of being a successful team, and it's testament to the fact that the club has, it's gone all the way around from being like the go home factor to the too good factor that people want everybody.
And it's annoying.
People are chasing our players rather than our players chasing out, I suppose, is what I sort of mean. And it is annoying, yeah.
It is annoying, but at the same stage, you look at it and you go, all right, well, we've sort of benefited from Danaher, Dunkley, Charlie Cameron, Neil.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
So it's all well and good when they come to us, but when they leave, it's like, hey, no, don't take our guys. I just kind of feel a little bit sorry for Sam Draper and Oscar Allen here, who could be, Hopper and
Don't
Taranto
you buy
Mark
into
II.
this bullshit. No. That was one of the second dumbest things I've heard your mate say recently. I made you listen to the dumbest thing he said today.
Yeah.
What were your true thoughts watching that video of him trying to explain the advantages of a ruck contest dependent on which side the umpire is throwing? Was your brain breaking in real time?
It reminded me of that time where he thought he had one of the great stats, and he put up a table of the top 8 versus the top 8, and the numbers were dead even, because obviously every time someone in the top 8 wins, the other one has to lose. So he was astounded that the numbers look, it's 50 wins, 50 losses. These are your 50-50 games. And the rest of the panel I think it was a first crack, and they're like, well, yeah, because the top 8 versus, 1v4, 4 losers, 1 wins. That's 1 and 1. So the numbers always added up to be even. He thought he'd cracked the code and found this amazing stat. It was very funny.
I just can't deal with.
Having said that, I can't wait to listen to him and Kane on Fireball tomorrow morning. So here we go.
Yeah, I think it was just that one episode where you had, on one hand, Korn saying they need to drop players, which we had no one to drop. And then on the other hand, you had King being like, oh, is it like the Taranto and Hopper of the... It's like, no, we're still... The difference is that our team's not going to be fucking Mansell and Bolter. It's going to be Harris Andrews and Ashcroft. And, so I don't think that's... And also, it's kind of incumbent on the two to be good. The also difference is that Taranto and Hopper have largely been fucking horrible and have not led that team.
True.
Other than Taranto having a good game against us. Did you see his set shot from today? He was not pulling that out against us.
Set shots are always good against us.
Yeah. But I think Draper and Allen, we've got the tools around them to be better. Whereas Richmond didn't,
Last little bit of trade chat is Jordan Ridley is looking more and more likely to come back up to Queensland. Now Gold Coast have got their hat in the ring as well. Thoughts on this one, where he fits into our team potentially? Is it just going to be another Tom Doedee?
I don't care, because it's like, if you're giving anything up to get this guy, don't. And if you're putting him on anything other than like a 1-year deal with if you play more than 15 games, you get an extension. I'm not interested.
Okay.
Because it's the same speculation that you would have dealing with Payne. In my opinion. If anything, I think Payne has a higher ceiling because he's taller.
Yeah.
And we don't know what Payne is going to be like when he comes back. But also, Jordan Ridley's played about 2 games of football in 10 years.
Yeah.
And we're not in a position where we're that busting for that position. I mean, we are a little bit, but at the same time, you've still got ZZ, you've got Curtin, you've got Zach.
He's probably more of a froggy type, I suppose. And I guess we got Doedee in for the transition of, probably thinking at that stage Froggy was going to be moving on at any moment now, and I think maybe Ridley's the next man up, but very similar.
But also Gallup could be the way, the man up.
Yeah, true.
So there's option there. I think we're relatively stable in that position when I thought we previously wouldn't be, if that makes any lick of sense. Gallup's kind of come in. I can see Gardner probably playing a couple of years down in Geelong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, could see he's from Geelong. I could see that happening, and then you lose Froggy and Gardner, and you go, well, maybe Ridley's not a bad one. But if you're having to actually trade to get him in, I mean, if you were playing for Essendon, you want the hell out of that club before James Hird comes in and starts stabbing needles in your legs.
Well, that whole conversation's died down a little bit. God, it was red hot for about a week, 2 weeks, and then it's just seemingly gone away.
That's what they want.
All right, well, as I said, we have got a game on Thursday night at the Gabba. I'll be there, section 422, so come and say g'day, have a drink, and let's see what the back half of the year holds for the Brisbane Lions.